Hello, people. What is going on? Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. It's Friday. The weekend is fast upon us. West Ham are going to Everton, and I've got an Evertonian in the building. That is Tom. Tom, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Jay. Thanks for having me on, mate.
No worries at all, mate. No worries at all. Before we get started, please do smash a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, Tom, shout out your channels and Twitch streams and everything, all social media outlets.
Yeah, mate. So you can follow me on Twitch on Mayday01_. Also on YouTube, it's Mayday01_, and then just Mayday01 if you can find it anywhere else.
Mayday, Mayday. Right, Tom. Everton, West Ham, Saturday, 3:00. What's your thoughts on the game, from your opinion?
Well, in all honest opinion, I think either both teams need the results here because we're not playing pretty well. I think both teams from the last 5 results have come out with 4 points each. Technically, you've got a win, we've got 4 draws. You're losing streaks on 3. So I think we look like on form, we probably look better than what you are at the current moment. But yeah, I think both teams need a good result because I know West Ham fans are crying out for Moyes' head at the current moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you know, us with getting our points back has kind of got us out of a little safety bracket for a little bit. But we need points on the board to make sure that we are secure.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. This is always a tricky game for West Ham. Every time West Ham go to Goodison Park, we never seem to get anything up there. Do you know what I mean? It's always hit and miss. We either go up there and do well, or it's consistently that we go up there and don't do nothing. Obviously, last season we went up there, we lost the game 1-0. We lost this season 1-0. So it's going to be interesting to see. But let's start off with this: the best and worst of Everton this season. Tom, where has it gone wrong for Everton? For you?
For me, I think it's consistency is probably the where I think it's where it's gone wrong, but also I think a lack of goals. I think us not having a striker that can actually bury get more than 1 goal in a game like Calvert-Lewin is very unreliable. And I think confidence is a very, very big issue at the moment for him. We signed that Beto for 30 million. He hasn't barely got a sniff of a game. Like starting a game, he's only comes on for the last 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes max. So I don't know if it's Dice trying to be reliable and have his favoritism and say, listen, if I keep playing Calvert-Lewin, maybe the confidence might come back. But that could be naivety from
him. I don't know. I can't understand it with Everton this year. I really can't. I thought this year they might have gone up another level, but for some reason they haven't. What do you make of Sean Dyche for you?
Cracker manager. I think he's I loved. You know what? As much as people hate it, like everyone used to call him a Brexit manager, didn't they? Because of like the footballing style that he used to play at Burnley. But I think that's only due to the fact that he couldn't buy no players because Burnley were like on a short budget. Now, don't get me wrong, we're on a tight budget as well. But I think soon as hopefully things will be better for Everton. And slowly can probably spend a bit more money, get a team that he wants, and it'll fluctuate, and we can see a proper style of like Sean Dyche. Like this year, like don't get me wrong, since he's come in, we've seen a different formation that works and suits at the current moment with the players that we've got.
Yeah. What do you make of the points deduction? Obviously, I know you probably ain't gonna like it, and obviously there is other corrupt teams in the league.
Yeah.
But have Everton cope with it, mate, for you?
I think, to be fair, I think 10 points is very harsh, especially for a team that's actually helped and it's provided the evidence with the Premier League as well. And then for them to turn around and go, well, you've got minus 10 points, which, we've not hit anything. We said, all right, we were over by 20 million. For most teams, 20 million's buttons, really, if you think about it. So probably like Luton and Burnley and, who else is down there? Sheffield, I think, 20 million's massive. But all the other teams in the league, 20 million button.
Yeah.
But, it's just... but we got 4 points back. That's helped or move us literally two more places up the league. So it's going to give hopefully more of a fighting, like more of an ease, but we've still got more grafting to do.
Mm, mm. I'm going to be honest. When they got them 4 points back, I think that I think everyone will be all right now. I think beforehand, 10 points is a massive dent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to try and and I know the Premier League this season, especially in the bottom half, it's pretty easy to predict. You got Sheffield United, Burnley, then you got Luton. Luton are the surprise package for me. I didn't see this one coming from Luton, like being where they are and the games that they're playing. But
exactly,
when I do look at Everton right now, I think Everton are able to win games when they have to win games, if that makes sense. Like last season, I think the season before that, when they had Richarlison in the team, he was literally carrying the team to safety, sort of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Who's been your sort of standout players this year, and who's been a nightmare for you, Tom?
Well, I'll go with the nightmare. I'd still stick with Calvin Lewin. The COYI's hit and miss as well, because when he's fit, he's a fantastic player, but when he's injured, you can tell we miss him big time. So I think that more goes on the frustrating side of it. A standout player has to be, I've got two at the moment, and that's Brathwaite and Harrison. I think Harrison's been fantastic for us.
Braithwaite he looks top quality. Now, I remember a few years ago he was mentioned. West Ham were looking at him like at Everton when Everton was sort of struggling a little bit, and he went on loan to PSV. I think it was. He went over to Holland and he done his trade over there, and he come back and he does look a proper solid centre half. I mean, like, he's the sort of player that you want. If balls are coming in, he's just going to throw his head on everything. Do you know what I'm saying? And he's not a bad ground defender either. A bit shocked about Jack Harrison from I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I haven't really seen. I've seen bits of Everton. Don't get me wrong, but to say him, but then I look at other people like Onana. What do you make of Onana for you?
He's good but frustrating.
Is he?
It's like he knows what he wants. Like, he's good defending and he knows how to get in that space. But when it comes to passing the ball, I think that's the only. He doesn't have that final third. You know what I mean? But the only reason why I pick Harrison is because I like to see players run. And I like to see players run at and Harrison, if Everton don't sign him at the end of the season, I think that'd be a big mistake.
Yeah,
because we need players like that that'll fight for the shares.
Yeah. What have you made of Dyche this season? Like, because some Everton fans have been sort of a bit mixed. Like, some people are like yourself, who you do rate him. What's the future hold for him before we sort of move on?
Oh, well, I do rate him quite highly, and I could understand other fans like getting frustrated with him because maybe the substitutions are a bit too late, or they're a bit too soon, or he doesn't do anything. He keeps the same team, and it's like, go get him off, because he's not going to do anymore. You can tell he's tired and he doesn't give a shit anymore. But it's just one of them. I think it's. I think if he can get us stable and then get us maybe next season, if we stay up this season, who knows, we probably might go down, but if we do stay up, we stay up. Hopefully next season he can drive us more into like top 10, where we could have been if we didn't have these points deductions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's a good manager. I think he's the perfect manager for Everton right now. Like, to get Everton out of the crap that they're in currently. I think if you want someone who's like gritty and determined and knows how to like win games rough, it's him. Do you know what I mean? Everton don't need a pretty manager at the minute. They need someone who can get the job done. And I think Dyche can. Do you know what I mean? I think he's the perfect manager for Everton right now.
Yeah.
But let's talk a bit about West Ham. What are your thoughts on West Ham currently this season, Tom, from an outsider?
Well, you like to pick your moments, don't you? let's put it that way.
yeah.
Like, it's funny enough because I'm looking at you like your fixtures, and I have been looking over them as well, because you go and beat Man United in December, and then for some reason you just drop after the new year.
Yeah.
It's just if like against the big teams, you can do so much damage. Don't get me wrong, you probably have you've had injury issues as well, but
Yeah.
it's just it's the imbalance as well. It's like like I look at your team sometimes, I think to myself, what's Moisey done here? Why has he picked these players
Yeah.
against this team?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. This year so far, as a season as a whole, right? Since in 2023, I thought was amazing. Like for me, like winning that game in Prague. Some people look at it and think it's a Mickey Mouse trophy. For a fan who hasn't never seen West Ham win anything, I can't complain. Like, do you know what I mean? If I've not seen West Ham win
Trophy's a
anything,
trophy I see in my eyes.
yeah, right. It doesn't matter how it comes; it's still a trophy. Yeah. Since this season, like this year, right in 2024, we won one game, and that was Brentford last game out, and we have been awful. I'm not going to lie. Some of that is on injuries, some of that is on Moyes. What do you make of Moyes? Obviously, he was with Everton for a long time, and he's getting a lot of stick at West Ham currently right now. What do you make of David Moyes?
I've always liked him. Like even when obviously, all right, he kind of he didn't ditch us. We all knew he was going to go to United.
Yeah,
and if he got given the time, he probably would have won titles. I think personally with United, I think he's been cracking for us. Don't get me wrong. He won you a trophy last year. You know what I mean? He did.
yeah,
He's done something right this year. All right, maybe his plan in his eyes hasn't gone too well that you probably wanted to what you wanted basically. So he's thinking I've probably got to save these players now to make sure that they're fit and make sure everything. Plus you're still in Europe as well, which I think has probably kept him in a job.
I believe so. Yeah, I think what it is with Moyes. One thing I have noticed with him, every time his job is sort of on the line, he pulls out a result out of somewhere, like every single time. Like I don't know about you when he was at Everton, but I think the Everton David Moyes and the West Ham David Moyes are two different eras basically for me. Like because when he went to Everton, he was building a side with no expectation at all, other than just being in the top half of the league, and like he took you to like Champions League, I think, or like Europa League and things like that.
Yeah,
he done amazing.
Champions League.
Yeah, Champions League. So he done amazing things there. Do you know what I mean? What he's done at West Ham for me is he's been a good manager at West Ham. The style of play kills a lot of people because it is depressing, and when you look at the players like Kudus, Bowen, Paqueta, should West Ham be playing like low block, sitting there and just hoping, do you know what I mean, to win a game? Like, do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know with him. What do you think as a sort of opposition fan? Do you reckon West Ham would be foolish to get rid of him, or do you reckon it's the right move to let him go in the summer?
I think it'd be foolish if we got rid of him. Like to say if you lose tomorrow, it'll be foolish if we got rid of him straight after that game, because I think at least give him to the end of the season because you are in Europe. If you're out of Europe, and let's be honest, you're not going to drop into the relegation zone or the bottom of the league, but give him that time to make sure that you get into Europe next year. I think personally, I think it's better that like you see it up and down the league, like managers get sacked, they get the manager bounce, and then the next year it just crumbles for them. So I think personally for me, I'd keep him to the end of the season.
Yeah. I think I don't think he's going to get the sack now. Like I think the game the other day, I think was warming up to it, but I think with the owners that we have currently right now, I just don't see it. I think he waits to the end of the year. But then if he does get Europe this year, like i.e. if he qualifies for the Conference League or through some sort of miracle wins the Europa League, I think it's very, 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 very hard to say, you know what, we're going to let the geezer go. But we'll see what happens there. Do you know, in regards of Moyes, like obviously as a sort of Everton fan, and you've watched him, like watched these teams over the years, has Moyes changed his ways since the Everton days, or is he still the same manager that you look at now, like when he's managing a different club, like the way he sets up, his attitude, etc. Tom?
I think you do notice he does change a bit, but I think he does. I think for security, he does go back, because don't get me wrong, with the days when he was at Everton, he did play that defensive block.
Yeah.
And he plays the one up on top, and he's got the supporting striker behind him. With back then it was Jelavic and who was it, Fellaini or Cahill with Yakubu or Lukaku, whichever one it was. But you do see sometimes like he has, like I think he has kind of adapted the way Premier League, how quick the Premier League's got now as well. So you do kind of see sometimes he might change to a 4-3-3-3 or 4-3-3, depending who the team is, and if it doesn't work, then he'll go back to security. Like, right, we'll go back to the block. So I think that's why he's got. I think that's why he likes to have them players on the pitch, because he knows if it goes Pete Tong, it can go back to the formation, and the players understand that formation again.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I really, really do. Do you think he's scared of evolving though? Because obviously the game's moved on since them days. Like, and when you look at
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, when you look at David Moyes currently right now, from the Everton and then Manchester United, from basically once he left Everton, that's when the downward spiral happened. Like Man United, Sociedad, Sunderland, like it all just fell apart. And then I'll be honest with you, when he first came to West Ham and he saved us in 2018, I think it was. Yeah, he actually done pretty well. Like he was pretty. He come in, he got the job done. And obviously, our runners went in a different direction, and then we brought him back. And what he has done at West Ham has been a breath of fresh air. Like some fans won't admit it because they don't want him here. Yeah, I can understand it because the style of play is just it's dull. Like, do you know what I mean? I think and we'll talk about it towards the back end in regards to predictions and things. But for me, I think when I look at him right now, I don't think you're going to get any more out of him. I think what he's done is he's reached his ceiling. He's reached the mountain, and there's nowhere else he can go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you well, what do you do? Do you make a decision? Do you go, yeah, we're keeping for another 2 years and stay there, or do you try and be brave and go up? But then if you go up, there's a possibility you could go down, if that makes sense. So.
Would you give him one more transfer window though to see what players he could bring in to see if he could adapt to that next level?
People don't trust him in the window, mate. That's the problem. It's a lot of money. He's had about, people say 500 million over the last 4 years. I don't believe so. I think it's a bit less than that. I think it's about 450, 420, something like that. But I think what it is that if he wasn't in charge of recruitment and there was other people buying the players for him, maybe. Right, I don't know, but I just think it is dead. I think what it is, when you've been somewhere for so long, and you like 4 years with a manager nowadays is very rare. Let's be honest. Like usually, like a couple of years and they're out the door. But I think he's done his time, Tom. If I'm being honest, like I feel a lot of fans, like obviously you've probably seen it. Like a lot of fans coming out on like mainstream media saying, "No, we don't want him here." I think, like for me, there's a difference here. Yeah, some fans will respect this geezer to the end because of what he's brung to West Ham. Yeah, he's obviously bring a trophy and everything else. Other fans don't like the way he plays. They look at it as an entertainment business, and win or lose, they want to be entertained. Yeah, that's perfectly fine, but you've got to win games of football at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean?
Like, that's true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is, but we'll see what happens in the future with him. Right, starting lineup, Tom. What is yours for tomorrow?
For Everton, I don't think he's going to change it. To be fair, I think it's Pickford and goal for obvious reasons. Then you got. Has he got Patterson? I think he's going to go Patterson right. I know he's been playing Godfrey. He played Godfrey last week, but I think Patterson will get back into the squad. Got Taki, Brathwaite, Mikalenko's been good this year. Midfield, I think he's going to go with Garner and Idrissa Gana Gay. Dwight McNeil, Decore, Harrison, and unfortunately, he's going to have to play Calvert-Lewin on top, isn't he? He's not going to change it. I know he's not going to change it. I want to see Beto up there.
I'll tell you what, right? Calvert-Lewin's got our number. He just loves to go against West Ham. I will say that. So just like mark my words, he will probably score tomorrow. But
I'll put a centre on then.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Every time he just scores a goal against us. Every time he plays us. For me, I think it's going to be the same lineup as it was on Monday night. Ariola in goal, Sufal right, Emerson left. Emerson's been a great signing for West Ham. Really has been superb. Great goal the other day. Zuma, he's like that with me at the minute. I'm not convinced. Another player who's ex-Everton, who went to Everton, and he's just. I think he's done at West Ham also. Mavropanos, I can see Alvarez coming in. Suchek, Ward-Prowse is sort of like a floating around 10 stroke midfielder. Paqueta, Bowen, and Kudus. And I can see us trying to have a go at Everton tomorrow. But it's whether or not West Ham, the way West Ham look to the way the West Ham play are two different things. But
yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Right, predictions time, Tom. Give us your prediction, mate. What you saying?
Well, I got my last prediction right last week, so I was all right with that one. I done a 1-1 with Brighton.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a lucky 1-0 win to us. Personally, I think we've been poor. I know that, and used to being poor, but I think the way both teams how they play and maybe the same style kind of way. Because if that goal happens early on, like I say, well, he's gone back to that block, so it's not going to be much attacking really.
Yeah. I think this is. I agree with some of the people in the chat here. Shout out to them. I think this is a nailed-on draw tomorrow. I really do. I'll be very shocked if West Ham go up there and put another performance in like they did on Monday night, because Monday night's performance was good, but Everton's a different level, especially at Goodison. Like we go every time we go, as I say, like it's just something about the Evertonians. we either play well or we play shocking, and there's no middle. But I do think there will be a middle. If it ain't a draw, I agree with you 100%. It's a goal either way. Like it's a 1-0 all day. Like last season was 1-0 at Everton. Mopé scored. This season at the LS was a 1-0. Kevin Loon scored. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's a 1-0 again in a sort of dull affair. But I'm going to be honest. If West Ham go up there and attack the game from the front, and score early, then Everton will have to come out. Then it's a completely different game. But I think if Everton score early, then it's for us. I just don't think the confidence is there yet. I think we've won one game, and then we move on to this one, and this one's the one for me where I can judge West Ham currently right now where we are. If we turn a corner, then I can say right, this is a good big game, because Everton, for how bad Everton have been over the years, like over the recent years, when they're at home and they've got the crowd behind them, they are a different team.
It's
Do you know
a
what I
hard
mean?
place to go to.
Yeah. So definitely, I'm going to say a draw. I don't think West Ham will get the job done in a win, but I don't think West Ham will lose up there. I will say that. Before we go, Tom, I just want to ask you something about your ground move, because it just sort of dawned on me a little bit. What do you make of that? What do you make of that moving?
In a way, I think it needed to happen. I think if we're gonna, and I think in a way it's as much as like Machiri's helped us and got us in enough crap in the way things have happened. I think it's a good business opportunity for other owners to come in and invest in us, because they've got that bribe. Basically, well, you've got a new stadium there. Would you, you've got new things to come from it. And plus it brings more revenue as well into the city. It's like literally 20 minutes down into town, walking distance, and the way it's looking, I've been watching videos, and mates have been sending me pictures, and mate, it's looking cracking. I have to admit, it's looking really nice. Really nice.
And because obviously West Ham moved from Upton Park to Stratford. So, it's not like a major move for Everton, but it is going to move across from one place to another. I think Evertonians will cope with that, mate, for you.
Well, either way, they're still going to have to get the train or drive into town, either way, so it doesn't make a difference for them, really. Yeah. But plus, it gets us away from Anfield as well. Sick of looking at that crap all the way up there from the park. Yeah. It'll be different. And plus, it's on the waterfront. If everyone's not seen it, just Google it or whatever. And it's on the seafront. And I can imagine it like a Monday night where it's lit up.
Yeah.
on the docks, just lit up football stadium, and all you can hear is a crowd chanting and all that. And to be fair, the police could have said no, or the council could have said no, you're not building it because it's going to be too much of a hassle, or policing's going to be terrible. But everything's been given a head, so I think it's going to be great for the city.
Yeah. I think it's the right move for Everton, but it will be a sad moment because obviously Everton's one of the long-standing grounds. Like Goodison Park's been there for a hell of a long time, a bit like our Upton Park was. And when you do move, sometimes it goes one or two ways. You either go up and think, right, you're in the big time sort of thing, or you go the other way and you go down. But it'd be interesting to see. But Tom, thank you very much, mate, for coming on. I really enjoyed this.
Oh, what is pleasure. You're welcome, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Shout out all your social media links, Tom, before we go, mate.
So Mayday01 _ on pretty much everything. So yeah, if you see my profile picture on there, it's me with a grenade holder, little green background. It's on all of them, so just follow them all on there for me.
Yeah, go over and follow it at Tom. Good man. Evertonian. It's going to be a good game tomorrow, I think, but hopefully one of us will be happy at the end of the day. But I don't know why. I just fancy the draw. I just think the draw's on the cards. Excuse me. Special like on the video. Subscribe to E20 Zone TV. Hit notification bell, and I will see you again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Reaction time. So it's a good one for us, and it ain't a good one for Tom. But knowing our luck, it's knowing our luck, it's probably a bad one for us and a good one for Tom. But whatever it is what it is. Enjoy your Friday, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bush.
Level up. Get set, level up.